Okay, so whether you chose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to work with the column of and row of 5. Okay, so if I added 5 plus 0, I got 5. So 5 plus 0 equals 5. Then if I went on over, 5 plus 1 equals what? I did 5 and I went up the ones. 5 plus 1 equals 6. Then what if I did 5 plus 2 equals 7? And what else did I do? 5 plus 3 equals 8. Okay, that's the row. Let's look at the column. If I did 5 plus 0, I got 5. Well, I guess we're going to have to look at the row this time. 0 plus 5, I got 5. If I did 1 plus 5, I got 6. And if I did 2 plus 5, I got 7. And if I did 3 plus 5, I got 8, right? So the next question is, what pattern do you see? What do you see? Do you see that this one? So what property is that? Commutative property. All of these are just the commutative property of each other, right? I'm just matching them up with these little symbols. Okay? So the pattern we see is that we have the order of the addends changes, but the sum stays the same, or the commutative property. So the pattern we noticed was the order of the addends change. We had 2 plus 5, and then we had 5 plus 2, or 3 plus 5, and 5 plus 3. The sum stays the same, which is the commutative property, which is over here in this box. Talks about it. So now we've turned the page and we're on page 243, and it says step it out. Lee uses an addition table to explore even and odd numbers. Choose a row with an even add-in, shade the sums. So an even add-in. Okay, it says choose a row with an even add-in. Who can tell me an even add-in? Only 2 people? 1 person can tell me an even add-in? None of you know your even numbers? Okay, so, now I see we do know our even numbers. Jason, what's an even number? 2. It says choose a row with an even add-in. Shade the sums that are even. So he said 2. So we're going to go across here because it said shade a row. And we're going to shade in all the even numbers. Can you guys see that light color? Yeah. Okay, we're going to shade in all the even numbers. And we're in a row, so we're going across. And we're only doing this row. Okay, in class, give me a thumbs up when you have all the even numbers in 2 shaded. All right, when you're shading, you need to be sure you're shading in lightly. Okay, so Jason told me 2, and it told me to choose a row. So I chose a row with even add-ins. And then it says shade the sums that are even. What even or odd pattern do you see? In that row, what do you see? What pattern is there? Okay, so let's go back and look at 2 plus 0 is 2, right? Is 0 even or odd? Even. How about 2 plus 1? What is it? What's 1, even or odd? And so its sum was not even, right? 2 plus 2, and 2 is even, right? So if we add 2 plus 2, we're adding 2 even numbers, and our sum is even, correct? If I add 2 plus 3, am I adding 2 even numbers, or what am I adding as far as odd and even? 2 is even, and a 3 is odd. So we get what kind of answer? An odd answer, right? If I add 2 plus 4, is 4 odd or even? So I get an. So now we know, if we keep following, every time we added an even number, we got an even sum. Okay, and every time we add in. So the sum of 2 even add-ins is an even. So we discovered that the sum of 2 even numbers is even. Okay? And it says choose a row with an odd add-in, shade the sums that are odd. So let's choose 5, and we're going to go through and shade the sums that are odd. So 5 plus 0 is 5, and that is definitely odd. Okay. What's our next odd number? Whoops. That's interesting. Okay, and it says choose a row that shade the sums that are odd. So 5 plus 1 is 6. Is that odd? 5 plus 2 is 7, and that's odd. 5 plus 3 is 8. That is not odd. 5 plus 4 is 9, or 4 plus 5 is 9. That is odd. 5 plus 5 is 10. That is what? 5 plus 6 is, and that's odd, right? It ends in 1. 5 plus 7 is 12. That's even. 5 plus 8 is 13. That's odd. So we're only shading odd. And then 9 plus 5 is 14. 14 is not odd. And so 10 plus 5 is 15. So those are all the odd answers if we're adding using 5 as an add-in. Okay? What even or odd pattern do we see in the add-ins? Every time we added an even number to this odd number, we got what? An odd sum, right? 5 plus 2, so we have our 5, which is odd, and we added 2, which is even, but we got an odd answer. Okay? So when we add the sum of an odd add-in and an even odd-in is an odd number. Okay? So the sum of an odd add-in and an even add-in, so 5, we could say 5 plus 2, here's our odd add-in and our even add-in, is an odd number. Our sum is odd. Okay, so if you were at home, you should have stopped your video and gotten that down. Let's go ahead and do the check your understanding on your own, not with your group mates. And I will check it, and we'll talk about where to go from there. So we need to talk about one other thing. Or two other things. What happens if we add two odd numbers? Let's say we add 3 and 5. What do we get? We get 8, which is that even or odd? What if we add the odd number 3 to the odd number 7? What do we get? Which is? So we get even numbers by adding an even and an even. We also get even numbers by adding an even and an odd. Those two will give us even sums. Okay? What happens if we add two odd numbers, like say 7 and 5? What do we get? Oh, we already did that. And we did an odd and an even. So I'll type on here our three little rules. Well, we did one. The sum of two even numbers is even, and the sum of an odd add-in and an even add-in is odd. So the other thing we need to think about is, is that the sum of two odds is what? Even. Okay, I'm going to put that over here on the edge of the paper. So if you're at home watching, you need to look at these three rules in order to answer number 1 on your homework. The sum of two even numbers is even, and the sum of two odd add-ins is even. Go ahead and go to your homework at home.